English File 4th Edition Advanced Students Book, CD 3. 5.1 The Chocolate Meditation.
Again and again, people tell us that mindfulness greatly enhances the joys of daily life. In practice, even the smallest of things can suddenly become captivating again. For this reason, one of our favourite practices is the chocolate meditation. In this, you ask yourself to bring all your attention to some chocolate as you're eating it. So if you want to do this right now, choosing some chocolate, not unwrapping it yet, choosing a type that you've never tried before or one that you've not eaten recently. It might be dark and flavoursome, organic or fair trade, or whatever you choose. Perhaps choosing a type you wouldn't normally eat, or that you consume only rarely. Before you unwrap the chocolate, look at the whole bar or packet, its colour, its shape, what it feels like in your hand, as if you were seeing it for the very first time. Now very slowly unwrapping the chocolate, noticing how the wrapping feels as you unfold it, seeing the chocolate itself. What colours do you notice? What shapes? Inhaling the aroma of the chocolate, letting it sweep over you. And now taking or breaking off a piece and looking at it as it rests on your hand. Really letting your eyes drink in what it looks like, examining every nook and cranny. At a certain point, bringing it up to your mouth, noticing how the hand knows where to position it, and popping it in the mouth, noticing what the tongue does to receive it. See if it's possible to hold it on your tongue and let it melt, noticing any tendency to chew it. Seeing if you can sense some of the different flavours. Really noticing these. If you notice your mind wandering while you do this, simply noticing where it went, then gently escorting it back to the present moment. And then when the chocolate has completely melted, swallowing it very slowly and deliberately, letting it trickle down your throat. What did you notice? If the chocolate tasted better than if you'd just eaten it at a normal pace, what do you make of that? Often we taste the first piece and perhaps the last, but the rest goes down unnoticed. We're so often on autopilot, we can miss much of our day-to-day lives. Mindfulness is about bringing awareness to the usual routine things in life, things that we normally take for granted. Perhaps you could try this with any routine activity, seeing what you notice. It could change your whole day.
.2
How long is it before we get frustrated at people talking during a movie or waiting for a date who hasn't shown up? I veer wildly between patience and impatience. It's probably good to know whether you're more or less patient than the average person, so I was interested to read the results of a survey by the watch company Timex, asking people how long they were willing to wait in various situations before losing patience. Some of the results seem about right. However, some seem wildly unlikely, based on my experience of how people tend to behave. First, a car in front of you at a green light. Average time before getting annoyed, 50 seconds. This is the one result that seems least believable to me. 50 seconds waiting behind someone at a green light? From what I've observed, it's more like 5 seconds, maybe even less. Then, waiting for people to stop talking in a movie theater. Average wait, 1 minute, 52 seconds. This also seems a long time. For me, it depends. If it's a really sad or emotional story and they're ruining the atmosphere, I shush them after 5 seconds. But if it's a full-blown action movie, then it doesn't really bug me. Next, crying babies. Apparently, it takes almost 3 minutes, 2 minutes 41 seconds to be precise, before someone gives parents a dirty look because their baby is screaming. That sounds quite a long time to me, and what they didn't ask was how long people would wait to ask a flight attendant if they can switch seats when they realize they're sitting right next to a screaming baby. That would have to be in the 30-second range, right? Waiting to see the doctor is something everyone expects to take a while. 32 minutes on average before people get mad doesn't seem unreasonable. I suppose there are always magazines to read, even though they're usually several years out of date. Now, what about waiting for your partner to get ready? Average wait, 21 minutes. I assume that means 21 minutes after you're ready yourself? I think that's too long to wait. I can get ready to go out in approximately 10 minutes. Shower, change, coat on, ready. My wife, on the other hand... The next one also seems pretty long. Maybe from entering the coffee shop to actually drinking your coffee could take 7 minutes, but just waiting in line? Presumably not during rush hour, when customers just want to take out and the baristas generally know what they're doing? What about if your blind date is late? The survey says that the average time before people get angry and leave is 26 minutes. That seems like the right amount of time for you to experience that scene from romantic comedies where the main character is sitting at a table, checking his or her phone, and finally decides to leave when the server offers them more bread for the 4th time. Finally, the average wait before angrily asking some overconfident business type next to you talking loudly on a cell phone to quiet down, 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Well, everyone in the world must be more patient than me. But my tip here is, just make facial expressions to let them know you're annoyed. Really exaggerated facial expressions. Works every time.
5.3 1.
One thing I really hate is waiting at home for a delivery, because sometimes they'll give you a delivery slot of 2 hours, and that's fine, you know when it's coming. But more often, they'll say it could be any time from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m, and then you're just stuck in the house. You don't even dare go out in case you miss them. And of course, it always ends up coming at 2 minutes to 7, and you've just spent the whole day waiting, wasting your time at home.
2.
So what annoys me is, when you have to wait for ages for like films and TV programs to download. It doesn't really happen so much nowadays, but from time to time I'll be somewhere where there's like really bad internet connection, and it really irritates me. I'll be sort of sitting there and watching that little download icon moving at an absolute snail's pace.
3.
I really hate waiting for anything where I've been given an appointment time for a specific hour, a specific time, and then having to wait for ages before I actually have it. For example, a hairdresser or a dentist or a doctor. I mean, I'm very punctual, so I always turn up on time. In fact, usually at least 5 minutes early. And it really, really annoys me if I have to wait for a long time. Anything more than 15 minutes over the appointment time drives me completely insane.
5.4 Expressions with time. 1. Verbs. 1,
I waste a lot of time playing games and messaging on my computer instead of studying.
2,
If you take the motorway, you'll save time. It's much quicker than the local roads.
3,
I had 3 hours to wait for my flight, so I sat there doing Sudoku puzzles to kill time.
4,
There's no hurry, so take your time.
5,
When my mother was young, she never had the chance to travel. Now she's retired and wants to make up for lost time, so she's booked a trip around the world.
6,
The novel is 700 pages long and I'm a slow reader. It's going to take me a long time to finish it.
7,
I'd better go home now. If I'm late again, Dad will give me a hard time.
8,
I would like to go camping this weekend, but my final exams are next week, so I can't spare the time.
9,
My children take up all my time. I never seem to get to read a book or watch a film.
10,
New York's such a fantastic city. You're going to have the time of your life there.
11,
Let's not spend too long at the museum or we'll run out of time.
12,
They want us to sign the contract today, but I'm not sure about it. I think we should play for time.
5.5 2. Prepositional phrases. 1,
I'm really punctual, so I hate it when other people aren't on time.
2,
I've never heard of that singer. He must have been before my time.
3,
By the time we got to our hotel, it was nearly midnight.
4,
I missed the birth of my first child. I was on a plane at the time.
5,
She's been working too hard recently. She needs some time off.
6,
If we don't take a taxi, we won't get to the airport in time for the flight.
7,
I don't eat out very often, but I do get a takeaway from time to time.
8,
He suffers from back pain and it makes him a little irritable at times.
9,
You can come any time from 10 to 2.
10,
My dad's a bit behind the times. He still thinks men should wear a suit and tie at work.
11,
Don't try to multitask. Just do one thing at a time.
12,
I thought it would take ages, but in fact, I finished it in no time.
5.6 3. Expressions. 1, I,
The referee's looking at his watch. There isn't much time left.
2, B,
He hardly spoke to me at lunch. He spent the whole time talking on his phone.
3, J,
I'm really looking forward to my holiday. This time next week, I'll be lying on the beach.
4, D,
I'm sorry I can't help you this week. I'm a little short of time.
5, F,
I can't afford a new car. I'll have to carry on with this one for the time being.
6, G,
She's sure to find a job eventually. It's only a matter of time.
7. E.
I think I need to take up a hobby. I've got time on my hands since I retired.
8. C.
Stop writing, please. Time's up. The exam is over.
9. A.
I really thought I was going to be late, but in the end I got to the airport with time to spare.
10. H.
Why not spend the morning at our spa? It's very popular with people who want a bit of me time.
11. L.
I hate having to fill in my tax return. It's incredibly tedious and time-consuming.
12. K.
You've had that computer for ages. It's about time you got a new one.
5.7. 1.
We need to make up for lost time.
2.
He gave me a really hard time.
3.
We're going to run out of time.
4.
Could I have some time off next week?
5.
At times I feel like giving up completely.
6.
Time's up. Please stop writing.
7.
Let's not waste time on that.
8.
It's only a matter of time before they break up.
9.
Did you have a good time last night?
10.
It's about time you learn to cook.
5.8. 1.
Not at all.
Thanks very much.
Not at all.
2.
First of all, we're going to revise the vocabulary from yesterday.
3.
Pick it up. That's your towel on the floor. Pick it up.
4.
In an hour.
When will you be back?
In an hour or so.
5.
On our own. Don't worry, we'll find it on our own.
5.9. Money. 1. Nouns. 1.
Budget.
2.
Grant.
3.
Loan.
4.
Fee.
5.
Fair.
6.
Quote.
7.
Donation.
8.
Fine.
9.
Installment.
10.
Deposit.
11.
Will.
12.
Lump sum.
5.10. 2. Money in today's society. 1.
We live in a consumer society, which is dominated by spending money on material possessions.
2.
The standard of living in many European countries is lower than it was 10 years ago.
3.
People's income has gone up, but inflation is high, so the cost of living has also risen.
4.
House prices are rising and people can't afford to buy a home.
5.
Online banking allows people to manage their accounts. For example, check their balance and make transfers and payments.
6.
People who have loans have to pay high interest rates.
7.
A lot of people are in debt and have problems getting a mortgage to buy their first home.
8.
Some people make money by buying and selling shares on the stock market.
9.
Our currency is unstable and exchange rates fluctuate a lot.
10.
A lot of small businesses went bankrupt during the recession.
5.11. 3. Adjectives. 1,
Rich, wealthy.
2,
Affluent,
3,
well off.
4,
Loaded,
5,
Poor.
6,
Penniless.
7,
Broke.
8,
Hard up.
5.12. 4. Colloquial language. 1,
Nice car. How much are you going to ask for it?
$5,000. What do you think?
2,
I need $5 for the subway.
Sure, here you are.
3,
Great hat. Was it expensive?
No, only £5. I got it in a charity shop.
4,
What's the building work going to cost you?
About 50k. We're redoing the kitchen as well.
5,
Can I borrow £20?
Sorry, I've only got a £5.
5.13. 1,
I'm afraid I don't have any expert knowledge.
2,
Did you know that James was a psychologist?
3,
It's an interesting theory, but it's not very scientific.
4,
I'm afraid you can't change it if you don't have the receipt.
5,
I found the whole experience a bit overwhelming.
6,
When I heard the explosion, I thought it was a bomb.
7,
Don't make a noise, she whispered.
8,
The National Gallery was great, but I was a bit disappointed by Nelson's column.
9,
Do you think the Prime Minister is going to resign?
10,
It was quite a bad accident, and the car was a complete wreck.
5.14.
So, Alessandro, how did the idea of pastor evangelists come about?
Well, I'm half Italian, half English, and I've always been interested in the sector of food and beverages, and I've been thinking about creating a new brand in the food and beverage sector for quite a while, and I saw an opportunity of creating potentially the first premium artisanal fresh pasta brand in the UK, but even internationally. And so 2.5 years ago, we started by selling gnocchi to my friends.
Where are you based?
Our business is based in London. However, our product is distributed and sold everywhere in the UK. We have an office in Farringdon. Our kitchen is in East London. And we also have a concession, a Pasta Evangelist concession in Harrods.
Who actually makes the pasta?
So yeah, we have a whole team of Sfoglini, Maria Rosaria, Livia, Michelangelo, Federica, Francesca, who make fresh pasta every day. So sfogliini is an Italian word which means pasta artisans, and it derives from the word sfoglia, which is the pasta sheet.
Right.
All our sfogliini are Italians. Having said that, we are also training non-Italians to make pasta, such as Darina, Sameia, Veronica, so people from Poland, Russia, Bangladesh, why not?
Where do you get your ingredients from?
We have quite an extensive number of different suppliers for our ingredients because we make hundreds of different recipes. So we're always working with new suppliers, veg, meat, fish, eggs, flowers, and I would say that we work with a mix of both Italian suppliers for some ingredients, but also British suppliers. I think I would say that the quality and the freshness of the produce is what we're most after, as well as the authenticity, whether it's the pistachios from Sicily or hazelnuts from Piemonte. It really depends.
Approximately how much money did you need to raise to get the project off the ground?
So whilst it was relatively inexpensive to get the business started, i.e. I invested £2,000, and even the second step was relatively was not colossal, i.e. £60,000. Once we were keen to increase growth, we had to raise larger amounts of money, i.e. we raised £500,000 and then £1.7 million.
One of the ways in which you tried to get more investment was appearing on Dragon's Den. What happened when you went on the programme?
So Dragon's Den was really an amazing experience. We really enjoyed it. It gave immediate visibility to the brands to approximately 2 million individuals across the UK. It was free. And the brand was shown in a very positive light, and we were able to showcase our products, our craftsmanship, and our story. Having said that, we didn't raise the capital from the Dragons.
What would you say is the unique selling point, the USP of Pasta Evangelists?
I think the USP is probably the quality of the product, which is a reflection of the artisanality, the freshness, the originality, the ingredients themselves, the craftsmanship of the product, the fact that it's made by hand. So yeah, a handmade, fresh product probably is our USP.
Who are your main competitors?
I don't think there is direct competition. At the moment, to our knowledge, there aren't companies doing what we're doing, exactly what we're doing. Having said that, the food industry itself is massively competitive, and therefore we're fighting for the same share of wallets as thousands of other companies. Especially in the UK and London, people are bombarded with different offers, different companies, new brands, existing brands, restaurants, takeaway, Deliveroo, recipe boxes. So it is very competitive overall.
How do your prices compare with having an Italian pasta dish in a restaurant?
Well, I'm glad you suggested that our competition is Italian restaurants rather than supermarket pasta or takeaway pasta or other recipe boxes, because indeed we see ourselves as restaurant quality delivered to your home. Having said that, our dishes are on average 20, 30, in some cases 40% less expensive than a equivalent dish sold in a restaurant in London, an Italian restaurant. And our pricing varies depending on what dish it is. We've done more than 200 different pasta recipes to date, and the pricing varies from £6 to perhaps a more, let's say, simple dish to £12 for a more luxurious pasta dish.
How would you describe a typical customer?
It's hard to say, because we do have, our product is, we define it as quite democratic, in that it's a product which appeals to several different types of customers. We have families, we have younger couples, we have people who buy it as a special occasion for dinner parties.
Where do you sell your products?
So roughly a third of our sales are in London, 2/3 are outside of London. So every day we ship hundreds of boxes from Cornwall to Scotland to Wales to the Isle of Man. Wow. Everywhere we find, and we actually find that most locations where we ship to, apart from London, are small villages we've never heard of, where there is less availability of high quality, convenient food, where it's more difficult to find a product like ours.
Are you hoping to expand your business?
So yeah, we think that the market for our products in the UK is fairly vast. We think we've just scratched the surface. There's much more we can do, and we just started only 2 years ago, and so our plan is certainly to grow. Hopefully, we can grow fourfold this year.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Alessandro. It's been lovely talking to you.